Hello, everyone, and welcome. This is Master Lama Rasaji, and this is 37th episode of the Wellness Wednesday. Today, we have some exciting things to share with you. One of my great friends and spiritual sisters, Kare, who's been in the industry for 4 or 5 decades, came across a phenomenal product a couple of years ago that they were using in Europe. And they reached out to her and her lovely son, Josh, and they have brought them in. The name of the company is iHeRQles. And boy, does it make you feel like Hercules when you eat the product. It sure does. And so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to introduce the Kare, and she's going to share with you a little bit of the story of the company. Then we're going to share with you some fantastic testimonies. And then toward the end, we'll talk about how you can get the product. I'm going to tell you that you don't want to be without this product. It is pretty phenomenal. My wife and myself have been using it for 8 or 9 months. And I'm going to share a little later in our story what it's doing to us. But Kare, how are you doing today?
I'm doing amazingly well. I'm just so happy to be here and so happy to have something to share that helps everybody. You know, I've been in natural healing and energy medicine for over 50 years. And, you know, my only passion has been to help people. And this is a product that is 100% plants, nothing artificial, and everybody can use it, from newborn babies to people over 100 and all of our pets. And I'm seeing results that I have never, ever seen before, because what this product does is it's actually a food, but it's in a spray form that you spray under your tongue like this. I need a dose of this right now. And it goes right into the bloodstream. So it's the top molecules from 44 of the most powerful plants on the planet. And it goes right into the bloodstream, and the body goes, and opens up the circulation and the microcirculation. And you know what happens when circulation and microcirculation open up? Inflammation goes away, and that's the cause of aging and all of our illnesses.
Oh, yeah.
And it also nourishes our body so much that it cleans the blood, all the low frequency stuff and the acidic stuff out of our blood so our body can deal with it. And it does so many more things. But this is 50 years worth of research and development by a huge science team out of Europe. 50% of the science team were quantum physicists. Wow. And they did something that nobody's ever done before. They figured out how to go into the quantum structure of plants and locate, isolate, and remove the highest frequency molecules. One plant may have 1,000 different types of molecules.
Right.
But they studied the molecules in the leaves and the roots and the plants and the fruits and all of that, and were able to then pick and choose the top molecules, and did 150 million different combinations to know what works and what doesn't. And they've treated more than 300,000 patients in Europe through medical doctors. And
wow, so they did that, Kare, before they ever brought the product here, right?
Oh, yeah. And they found everybody got better. Out of 300,000 patients, everybody got better. And 50% of them were stage 3 and 4 issues. You know what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
The other 50% were elite athletes, actors, and very wealthy people, because they were charging like $150,000 for a 4 to 6 month thing. And they did blood work every 3 weeks. And it was a real intense study with these patients. And they found when they assembled all of this, there were no allergic reactions. There were no negative side effects. There were no contraindications with any medications. And that's when the son-in-law of the science team, head of the science team, said, let's take this to the United States, put it in a company that can take it directly.
When did that happen? When did they bring it
That
here?
was a little over 2.5 years ago. And bring it at prices people can afford. And I was lucky enough to hear about that when it was about 3 months old. So
why did they choose Texas? Why do you feel they chose Texas? I mean, I know I would choose Texas.
yeah, it's a good state to do it in. It's because that's where the son-in-law lived.
Makes sense. And it's outside of, is it San Antonio?
San Antonio, yeah.
Great. So he must be. So what kind of number, what's the guesstimation of the amount of people now that they have as customers?
I don't know. I honest to God, I don't know what their numbers are. But me personally, I have about 28,000 people in my group.
Wow,
and that just says so much about this network, because I didn't share it with that many people, but people are sharing it and they're sharing it, because when you realize there's nothing like this, there's nothing ever been like this. And it's basically what you need. It's all you need. And it can actually reverse biological age and issues. And I've been using it almost, 2.5 years, and I'm going to be 75 in a couple of months. And
it's funny, certain herbs really dominate, and I know that a high level of ginseng's in there because I can absolutely taste the ginseng, right? And I've had ginseng in my body for, Lord knows, well over 45, 50 years. And it's ironic that my first herb that really helped me was a ginseng root. And to think that that's only one of 44 compounds that's in that. Are they using nanotechnology at all in this? They are, aren't they?
Yeah, yes. But as far as the technology goes, they're in final stages of international patents. They have 19 patent attorneys. Wow. So to me, that says they have 19 new quantum technologies that they're patenting. So do I totally understand it? No.
Yeah, they're going for 19 patents. I mean, they're serious, because I've been involved with companies that have done that before. That's a real serious investment, and it's not cheap an investment either. Yeah.
It's 50 of research and development. I mean, this is something nobody's going to be able to duplicate.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Let's talk for a minute, a little side. The younger people, what are you hearing about, let's say, because I've got my son on this. I've got my 12-year-old on this. And what I noticed right away, right away, I would say 14 to 30 days, he only takes a couple squirts a day, just a couple squirts a day. He's about 80 pounds. He's he just caught up with his mom, meet us. And he's got feet one size smaller than the llama. So I know how big this boy is. Almost a 3rd-degree black belt. He's working really hard, going to parochial school. We started him I was on it a month. And this is the way we always do things. And then the 2nd month, we started Meta. And then 3rd month, we started Chin. And Chin gets it in the morning. It's a couple of squirts. Within 3 to 4 weeks, any allergy symptoms completely were gone. I mean, literally gone. And he had that DNA from his dad. I had that strong tendency too. Mita noticed that about 3 weeks. She probably does twice a day, 2 to 3 squirts. Now, again, she's 108 pounds soaking wet. Spirit had told me that I hit it hard in the morning. So after I've done morning meditation, morning prayer, I'm getting ready to go in the shower. It always tells me to take it first before I go in the shower. I do 5 strong shots for my first morning dose because I wanted in my system kicking and going, right? I swish it around in my mouth for a good 5, 6, 7 minutes, probably. And as I'm doing that, I'm doing some hip rotations where I'm putting liquid back into my hip joints, regenerating my hip joint. And that was one of the big reasons I was interested in the product to start with. I've just about regenerated, as you know, my illness background, about everything in my body, which includes glands and vital organs. So I regenerated 2 kidneys, 2 adrenaline glands. And I thought, I know joints are tricky. They're very tricky. I've dealt enough with chiropractors, with Tai Chi Gun.
Especially hips.
Especially hips. My mom's and close friends of mine have had them replaced. I said, I'm not going to do that no matter what. So
same here.
I went through the energy phase. It was amazing, the energy. It was amazing. Certain pressure points in the body were opening up in the first couple of months. A lot of increased circulation in the brain. I could tell, right away. So mental clarity definitely was increasing. But I kept holding out. And I knew this is, and I've worked with a lady who's, she does orthobiotomy, which is a very gentle form of chiropractic medicine. But they work from the same premise that Tai Chi Gun works from with the healing. Words, they just allow the field, the spirit of the body to set the, they're just a facilitator, but they don't do any of this strong manipulation.
Set it in the right direction, let the body take over.
Right, just lightly touch and boom, you feel the movement. And I've been working with her seriously for a year. I started about 3 or 4 months before I started taking iHeRQles. And as you know, March 1st of this year, I took my first dose. And Jimmy took it on the 2nd, the next day. And I saw all this energy, circulation stuff improving. I saw the stuff in the feet like Jimmy did, because I had plantar fasciitis from dancing for years off Broadway. I saw the improvement there. But about, I guess, the 7th month, because this was a real serious injury. This injury goes all the way back. Lama's in his upper 60s, and this injury goes back to my 20s, Kare. So you're talking, we're talking. So it was a nasty one. And about the 7th month, about 2 months ago, about 60 days ago, I got up and started walking, and I noticed, I guess, about 30 minutes into walking, my hips felt as normal as I can ever remember my hips felt. And that is huge, absolutely huge, because I don't have to begin to tell people how tricky the hip joint is, and especially when I can tell you what the Lama did to it between all the martial arts, all the crazy dancing off Broadway, Kajak dancing, Russian Kajak dancing, everything that I'm lucky to have a hip, right? And so I can tell you to walk. So I mean, immediately, that's one of the reasons I wanted to get on this. That's my newest thing.
That's awesome.
I let my orthobiotomy gentle chiropractor know the other day, and I said, Kathy, with what I'm doing with you and this iHeRQles and the Tai Chi Gun and putting energy, I said, it's doing it. It is literally regenerating this hip joint. And I'm so excited.
Same here, Master Lama Rasaji. 2 years ago, I could not walk. I was riding an electric cart. I had bone on bone in my hip. I couldn't put any weight on it at all. I could not walk. And the doctor said hip replacement. And I'm going, no, thank you, not going there. And between iHeRQles and Tai Chi Gun, my hip joint is regenerating. I mean, I'm teaching Tai Chi Gun. People watch me. They don't know that I couldn't walk 2 years ago.
I would never almost believe it if you told them, to be honest with you.
I know.
the
I
way
know.
you're getting around and the way that you're moving and all the weight that you've lost. Tell the viewers how much weight that you've lost in the last couple of years. It's a lot.
No, in 6 months, in 6 months time period, I've lost 50 pounds.
Wow, that's
So,
huge.
and I feel amazing.
Well, you
And
look
and
better.
my wrinkles have gone away.
Yeah,
And
your
my,
wrinkles are gone, and you're even in the last couple of months since the last time we did this, your face is even more shiny than it was
yeah,
before. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
well, let me explain what's actually happening in the body, because, our cells are always dying and new ones replace them. So in the past, the new cells that would replace them would be 74-year-old cells with
Right.
shorter telomeres. That's the end cap on DNA. But what's happening now is this is so nourishing my body so that my immune system comes up so that it can locate and destroy the fastest aging cells and the damaged and diseased cells. But at the same time, it's stimulating production of my own stem cells. It's usually by age 30, 40. I mean, the production is like dawn. So by the time you get to my age, you got like 2 or 3 left, And now I've got massive amounts. So old cells are being destroyed. Brand new stem cells are coming in. So that's like baby cells with long telomeres.
Yeah, called the Krebs cycles, which is such a big deal with biochemistry, right? So it's speeding up that Krebs cycle.
Nobody's ever done this before.
Pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing.
It absolutely is. Well, it's been proven in 1,500 blood studies, people using this, that people have reversed biological age up to 20 or 30 years. And they only studied them for between 4 to 6 months.
Well,
who knows how far it'll go?
That's what I'm talking about, because I mean, when I hit that 4-month, first stage, and we were faithful. Jimmy and me, we were really faithful. It's very interesting what's happened to Jimmy Swin. So him and his wife, they went to Dominican Republic a couple of months ago because his wife wanted to celebrate her birthday there with her father and her mother. So they went down there and they got there. They planned on being there 3 weeks, and they ended up staying almost 6. Well, everybody knows when we travel, we try our best to think ahead of time. But when your trip's extended twice as long you had planned, and they're in a third world country, it's a whole different ball game. So he actually started to ration down his iHeRQles. By the time he got home, he started noticing that symptoms of poor circulation in his feet and stuff started coming back again. And so in the last couple of weeks, he's got himself back up dosing to the level that he was before. And he says he's re-experiencing it all over again for the same time that his neuropathy, literally his neuropathy, is getting better. And he's actually, for the first time in probably 20 years, he's growing hair between his knees and his ankles on his calves and shin. And he hadn't seen hair there in 15, 20 years.
So that's circulation. This is improving. If you can open up the circulation and the microcirculation and clean the blood and have this quantum nutrition, the likes of which you've never had in your body before, everything gets better. And not just physical, but mental, emotional, spiritual as well.
Yeah, when it's a marriage made in heaven, when people are doing the Tai Chi Gong, taking this, because I don't have to tell you what the Tai Chi Gong does to the energy body, to the portals and the chakras is unbelievable. Then to have this starting to affect us on a DNA level, which is just amazing. So it's going to be really interesting. I think we're going to be producing some real healthy older people, and it's going to be interesting to see. I quit having birthday parties years ago. We call them youthing parties, right? We just have and so we'll be celebrating, and it's really interesting to hear where all of this is going. Like I said before, and I'll let the audience know, the Lama since 1969 has been putting herbal compounds in his body. And
Oh, me
today,
too.
with the awareness that I have of my body, and the Lamas treat the body, always have treated the body is their laboratory. We would never give something to someone that we won't try ourselves.
Oh, yeah.
And I challenge all the doctors out there, to say, treat your body with AZT before you give it to somebody, right? And you can't nobody to stand up for that. But it's also what I've noticed, as I've noticed, it's accelerating the nutritional absorption of food that we're eating.
Oh, absolutely. It
really,
makes everything better.
Yeah. I've really noticed that. And also, like everything, everything that we deal with the chi, no matter what level of the chi we're dealing with, we know two things: the intrinsic energy, but the intelligence that goes along with it. So it's telling the DNA, it's giving signals to the DNA. You want less of this and you want more of that. So even sometimes as humans, we're not always putting the best thing in our body, but now our body's talking to us in a different way, because between the Tai Chi Gong and taking the iHeRQles, we're becoming completely reprogrammed.
Yeah.
And that intelligence that comes from that chi is saying, stay away from the foods that are high in calories, low in nutrition. Yep. You don't need those foods. They're not serving you. And get with their. And the other thing is, the stories that I'm hearing is that the people's energies levels have increased so much.
Oh, yeah.
Now they want to go out and take that 30-minute walk that they didn't do before, right?
Absolutely.
They're engaging, and so we just love the product. As long as they're making it, we're not.
Give it to your pets too.
Yeah.
You want to hear a pet story?
Pet testimony for the pet lovers. Go ahead.
So one of my friends has a cat, and the cat had 9 tumors in his lungs, and the vet didn't give it much hope. She started giving it iHeRQles, and she just spray it on his food or in his water. By the second month, she took it back and they did another x-ray. 6 of the tumors were gone and 3 of them were shrunken down to almost nothing.
Well, I could totally get that, because one thing I'm convinced of is the alkalinity of this product is off the charts.
Yeah.
And in order for anybody that's worth their salt, you talk to any decent pathologist, and they'll tell you that in order for disease to really mutate in the body, right? I mean, it has to have an acidic condition to feed it. Acid in the body is like jet fuel and so when you take a product, if it's reducing the inflammation into the degree that it is, then one of the things you can bet on is that it's also reducing the oxidative stress in the body, because it's such a high antioxidant. And that's huge, because the 2 leading causes of aging are is inflammation and oxidative stress. I mean, Berkeley did that study over 30 years ago, and that was their finding. And so it's exciting, to think all you have to do is squirt it in your mouth.
It's so easy.
Don't sit there and mix 44 potions. I mean, Lord knows the Lama's done that stuff. I mean, I've studied with Ayurveda masters, as you know, and herbologists, and goodness, we were mixing tinctures and vows and everything. And today, all you got to do is 3 or 4 times a day.
Spray it under your tongue. Yeah. And if you do it morning, afternoon, and evening, you're keeping it in your bloodstream all day long. If you do it for 4 months like that, 4 months is a complete blood cycle, meaning every red blood cell dies. So in 4 months' time, it's a complete upgrade in your blood.
Can you imagine when cutting edge biology tells us that no vital organ or cell in an organ is no more than 7 years old?
Oh, yeah.
Even our liver can be totally replaced in 7 years. It's going to be really exciting, sister, to see where this goes, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I love it.
Yeah. So we really thank you for stopping by today and give us some updates on the
My pleasure.
And the llama just loves it, and the wife and me and my child are not going to be. And I'm going to tell you today, if you're serious about health and you're into simplicity, llamas always say, God simplifies, man complicates, and everything's based on truth. You cannot ask for something more simple and more nurturing to your body than to do the iHeRQles. So there's going to be a link, and you can also click on this video, and then you'll be able to see where you can get you some product and begin to spread it around with your friends. And Kare, why don't you give them your contact information?
I'm going to give you my phone number, and my phone number is on that link too, because I can make it really easy for you if you want to call me. 727.
Josh are wonderful. And if you decide that you want to down the road supplement your income, it's a great alternative income stream, and you can really do it. And if you're guided to, walk in the light of Tai Chi Gong and be a teacher, you're going to find that this is an income stream that will help you build your practice.
Goes hand in hand. So my number is 727-262-0880. You can call me if you want me to make it easy.
And then you see Kare in her background. That's her website up there that you can also contact there and find her email address and everything. Yeah. So we really thank you, Kare. Give a hug to Josh.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.
And we'll see you soon, sweetie. Hey, happy Thanksgiving if I don't talk to you before, okay? I'm sure I will, but just in case, happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Same to you. Bye, everybody.